Okay. We are joined by Furman head coach Bob Richey, Mike Bothwell, and Conley Garrison. Before we get started with an opening statement from Coach, I am just going to remind those in the media room that we are getting started and to please lower your volume. Thank you very much. Coach.
If we would have played defense as hard as she just got on them tonight for 40. No, I'm kidding. Well, first of all, proud of this group. I thought they handled the game well, and we know the first one. It's just, especially when you're coming off the bye, it's great to have the bye, but the other teams played, and sometimes they can get in a good rhythm. And Mercer played really well last night, and we knew they were going to come in here with some confidence, and I thought our guys did a good job of just coming out with the right defensive intensity for the majority of the game. And these two particularly, I thought from the perimeter had active hands. I think they had 12 of our deflections together combined. And I thought when we were getting stops and were able to get the ball in transition, I thought we were really able to, stretch the game at margins at times. Our defense slipped a little bit in the second half at halftime, and we called that timeout when they cut it to 12, and I thought our leadership did a great job of just settling down and had some guys make some plays to finish the game. So got to play a lot of guys, and, I thought minutes-wise we did a good job there. Had a lot of guys step up. I thought Alex Hunter was great. I thought Mike Bothwell was great. I thought Conley Garrison was great. Jalen Slauson made some huge plays. Marcus Foster made some big plays. And then J.P. Pegues off the bench did some good things for us. So great first night. We'll get back and get rested, and we'll get ready for another challenge tomorrow.
I don't want to interrupt your video, so before we ask questions, I'm going to pass the stats to the players since I just got them. All right.
Conley, you seemingly do a lot other than scoring. You get around the basketball a lot. You seem to find loose balls and be able to keep possessions alive. What is your source for just your pursuit of that and pursuit of winning like that on every play?
I just want to win. So I know how important those possessions can be, not only throughout any game, but especially in March. One possession could be the difference. So you can't treat one in the first half you can't treat that less important than one maybe in the second half. Early I got a couple of deflections, maybe a steal, and I'm just playing with that mindset that whatever we can do to win, we got to do it.
Mike, about 80 seconds into this one, it was Slauson layup, Bothwell layup, Garrison 3, Mercer timeout. How can you explain how that kind of just, I'm sure it exudes your confidence. You probably think everything's going to go in when you start like that. Just kind of describe your start.
Yeah, I have to give credit to Coach. This week in practice, we worked on our starts. We played 4-minute games right after we warmed up in practice, and said we got to start right. So I think it even goes to how we got the tip on the jump ball. We've even been working on that. On the first day of practice, we didn't win the tip. He started us over. So it's just credited to that, and knowing that our start is critical. Coming out, making sure we set the tone for how we want to play, and we knowing that they're coming off a really good game last night. We all watched and saw how good of a rhythm they were in last night, so we wanted to make sure we set the tone for ourselves and make sure we knew that how critical that would be for the game. So that does give a lot of confidence when we can come out and kind of throw the first punch.
Bob, several teams in the Southern Conference are built similarly. Mercer, it seems like to me, is built a little differently, more classic, big, strong inside. Are there problems that gives you?
Well, they present a million problems. I mean, it's we were looking at the database this week from our scouting versus Mercer, and I think we had 137 different actions. And so the amount of information, and really to be able to boil it all down conceptually, to be able to give our guys the information that's going to come up more often and consistently. But I'm going to tell you, they scare you, because Hasey's good. He's a tough one because he's a 4-man. They can really shoot it, and they can play off of handoffs with him. But if he gets a look, he's 6'9", he's going to knock it down. So it forces you to switch him just to make sure you keep a body on the ball. But then he'll go down inside and he'll post it. And, I thought first half our defense at times wasn't as good as it needed to be, but we were forcing twos. And Robertson was getting in the paint, and we were taking twos. They were 0 for 7 from 3 in the first half. And that was a big deal, for us to be able to get into halftime. And even though Kamar was playing well, it was twos. And so, yeah, they present a lot of problems. Greg does a heck of a job, and I still remember watching that Purdue Virginia game, just watching him over there as an assistant. And when he got in this league, I'm like, man, we're gonna have to deal with all that stuff, and we do. And our guys, for the most part, they weren't perfect with it. And you got to try to pressure the passer. You got to try to make sure that we can impact the ball, and then make sure that we have the court pretty shrunk around it. And then communication's critical. And when we did that tonight, we were able to force tough twos, get it off the board, and run. I thought that's when we were at our best.
Coach, it seemed like you had a pretty solid lead, and then you kind of took command there late in the first half. I believe you had 5 or 6 steals in the last 5 minutes. Obviously, your team is preaches deflections and steals lead to buckets, which it did not. But can you recall a stretch like that where you just got, it seemed like every trip down you got steal after steal after steal, especially Marcus Foster during that spread?
Well, I think with the 8-minute media timeout, I think we had 4 deflections in the first 12 minutes of the game, and we talked about it and really tried to make an emphasis there. We finished the last 8 minutes with 10 deflections, and that's what really got the run going, because then we were able to run. And listen, they have more size than we have. We know that, and they even played bigger at times, playing a lot of those guys together tonight. So we knew our speed had to be a big deal, defensively, offensively, tempo of the game, and the way you do that is you got to get stops. And so, give our guys credit. I thought in the second half, some of it was good action. They did some things to really, take advantage of some of our aggression. But for the most part, we did a pretty good job from about the 8-minute mark, to the remainder of doing a decent job. Offensively was the biggest problem in the second half. I thought we took some tough ones. I thought we took some quick ones, and then they started going zone to man, to slow our rhythm down a little bit. But, give our guys credit. They closed it out, and Alex, all these guys made some big shots in that stretch. JP Pegues made some big plays in that stretch. So, yeah, you're right. The end of the half was critical, and we talked about that this week. That was a big deal when we played so well at Macon, that it was a back-and-forth game, and then we made a run right before halftime that really was able to give us a boost going into the locker room, and we wanted to do that again tonight.
Mike, could you just talk about, was there anything different coming into this tournament game as far as player-led leadership than maybe there was the previous 2 years?
Yeah, I think especially the players that's been on this team before, that we've definitely matured a lot and have learned a lot of lessons from our previous years. But I would say what's different is this guy to my left. Having him on the court, we've been saying it all year, is just a stabilizer, just a piece out there. JP Pegues, we know he hasn't been here yet. We know he's going to show up. Joe Anderson, Tyrese Huey. A lot of players, I was thinking about in the game, we've only had 3 players on our team right now that's had big moments in Asheville. So everyone's here ready to make a new mark. They're not thinking about what happened in games before. They're not thinking about any of that. They're just out here trying to get this job done. And with our leadership, having the lessons that we learn and pouring into the people that haven't been here yet, and their energy and their excitement to be in this stage, I think it's definitely a different feeling than years before. Just a more peace out there instead of a nervousness, and not scared to lose. We're just excited to go try to win.
Conley, when you go out and you're hitting right off the bat, hitting nothing but bottom, does that affect the way the rest of your game is? I mean, I'm not just talking about shooting, but just being aggressive and creative. When you start off with a good game like that, does that fuel you the rest of the way?
I mean, it definitely helps, but I had a coach tell me when I was growing up that never judge your game based on how well you shoot the ball. So, I mean, you can't always control if you're going to make shots or not. So you can control how hard you're playing. You control your ability to be a good teammate and your toughness. So, I mean, it does help, because I'm contributing to the team, to the win. But at the end, I mean, I'm just trying to play hard.
That's all we have time for, folks. Thank you.